Shalom, shalom. This is Shalimar from the Great Millstone Atlanta Camp. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Raha HaKodash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone. They teach and rule well. Peace, love, and safety to the hopeful elect. And just want to do this lesson. It's just been on my spirit to do this lesson, and it pretty much stems from Saturday camp. So I was teaching during camp, and this Jake walked up. He could have been a Hamite, but we perceived him to be a Jake, and he was listening for a minute, and we was going into our people um, basically not listening to us, not listening to the words of the Lord. Rejecting the wisdom. And I think at the time we was reading Isaiah 65, and then it goes into the missiles. So then we started talking about the missiles. So, during that time, this guy's, he's out there, and he started asking questions about Egypt. So the brother that was reading, the brother Thamayim, basically broke down perfectly um, this man's question. He answered his question perfectly, and then he asked another question that he was talking about um the Egyptians, how they look now as opposed to how they used to look. The brother Zakaria was answering his questions as well. It was different brothers just own it. And I wrote them. I read First Maccabees about Egypt being invaded after Alexander the Great. So he was listening, but he just kept coming with questions and seemed like he was trying to teach us certain words, and trying to throw big words out there. And after a while, it got aggravating, and the brother Kashakwala pretty much just dismissed him. So it's a waste of time. Jake, dealing with Jake sometime. Scripture say in Revelations 22, he that is filthy, let him be filthy still. We're here for the elect at the end of the day. We're not here for anybody that just want to talk. We're the teachers. You're not teaching us. We learn from each other. Scripture say iron sharpens iron. So, brothers, the foundation was laid, starting with the elders and apostles, a great millstone, and the wisdom is out there, the knowledge is out there, the truth is out there, and this truth has been taught for a long time. So you got this guy. He pretty much didn't want to listen, and he wanted to just try and teach us certain things and try and make us feel, trying to belittle us with big words, and it didn't work. We kept on teaching. Dude left and he came back, and the crazy thing is, I'm like, how is this Egypt thing that you study and this Kemet thing? Because he kept going into Kemet, and like I said, the brother Thamayim broke it down perfectly about Kemet and Ham and Mizraim and all of that. So he broke it down perfectly, and it seemed like the brother got offended that the brother knew what he was talking about. So he started. He went into scoffing mode. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's not gonna help you. That's not gonna help you. You already, I mean, the guy's pushing a buggy with his stuff in it. The guy's homeless. At the end of the day, this truth will help you because it tells you how to move and around in this world. It tells you how to move. It tells you how to be humble. This guy most definitely wasn't humble. He wasn't meek. He didn't want to listen. He wanted to hear himself teach us. And we like, look, man, this is not your foundation. We're up here teaching. So yeah, dude got dismissed, and I got a feeling he may come back because he probably gonna be in the area. But yeah, it's nothing you can teach us, especially about this Kemet bullshit It's a bunch of nonsense. How is the Egyptian gods Ra and Horus and all these made up fake pagan gods? How is this gonna help you when the missiles on the way? Here we are talking about missiles hitting America, and you want to bring out Kemet. All right, so I want to read this Proverbs 1:20. This is not going to be long. It says, "Wisdom crieth out; she uttered her voice in the streets." And that's exactly what was going on. The Lord commanded us to go to the highways and hedges and push this truth and warn our people about the prophecy in the scriptures that's coming to pass. So we're out crying. We're out, telling our people what's about to happen. A lot of times we're out there talking, is nobody listening. And then sometimes you have a few people that listen and take heed. And there was a new brother out there that we'd never seen. He seemed like he knew some things, and he was out there listening, taking notes. So let's see, how the Lord worked with this brother. A lot of times when men come out, they ended up, and they diligent about coming out, they end up in the camp. Same thing happened with me and all the other men that's in the camp. But it says, she cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttered her words, saying, how long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? And scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. So yeah, you got wisdom out here. And you don't want to open your ears, you just want to open your mouth. And another way I know that dude wouldn't listen, because as soon as his question get answered, he come with another one, or he'll come with two or three at the same time. We're like, wait a minute, man, let's deal with one thing. But yeah, this guy was simple. He was foolish. He was a fool. It says, I'm going to read it again, verse 22. It says, how long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? And scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. This guy, he actually got mad. He hated what we was bringing out. This guy got mad and tried to say the brother was sinning because he was mad. We mad because you came in and you trying to interrupt the spirit. We was out there flowing. So you came in, and instead of us teaching you, you just wanted to turn into you scoffing. So yeah, it says, verse 24, because I have called and you refuse, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. So yeah, the Lord was stretching his hand out to that man right then. It's no telling, the man could have, got the name, start praying, and probably had him a new spot and a place to stay in a week or a few days. All right. So verse 26 says, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Yeah. So, this guy's going to get laughed at. You already, I'm pretty sure you don't have a job. You're homeless. Then you got a clean shaven face. You going somewhere to, shave and all of that. But yeah, first of all, you got to have a beard on your face. I didn't even know the guy was homeless until I saw the buggy, and found out he went to school, went to college with another brother. So, he probably got some type of knowledge, but according to this truth and the knowledge that's coming from the heavens that the Lord has given his prophets, his men, it's nonsense. All right, it's nonsense. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. It says, let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seem to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. Yeah, at the end of the day, we're just going to leave you people alone. Once you see these prophecies coming to pass, either you're going to remember what we were saying, or you just not going to know what's going on at all. And even if you remember, you still got to call on the name of the Lord to save you, if he's going to save you. It says, verse 19, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Yep. I mean, this Bible, this truth in this Bible and the Holy Spirit pretty much can crush anything out there. It don't matter what you're talking about. Of course, we're not going to talk about something, vain that has nothing to do with what's going on. It has to be relevant, but, we're not going to be talking about motorcycles and somebody that knows how to put a motorcycle together from scratch, every screw and every bolt. Of course, he's going to be wise in that area. And just like this guy, he was wise with the Kemet, but you can't teach the prophets. We're out here, we teaching a whole different thing. It says, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. And again, the Lord knoweth the thoughts of the wise, and they are vain. Yeah, none of that stuff is going to help you in that time. And then he said he believed in the Bible, but he think that God is in everything. That the Bible doesn't say that. Scriptures does say the Lord made everything for himself, but the Lord is not in everything. All right. Like these are people that, go out and think that, there's a tree god or a sun god or a moon god or a stormy rain cloud god. Or, they just think that it's different gods. And you know what? To be honest, I was looking into that stuff too before the truth reached me. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. God lives in us. That's why we can't see him. He's in us. And man, I found out, man, wait a minute. It don't make no sense. And I became more inquisitive until the truth reached me. This makes perfect sense. But that Egypt stuff, it don't make sense. We don't care if you think the earth is flat. Some things we can talk about as far as, NASA trying to travel out of space and, lying about a bunch of stuff, but don't try and teach us something that the Bible don't speak on. And you say it's the truth. A lot of men, they have their own truth, but there's really only one truth. And the truth is going to make itself known by prophecy. And it already is. The things of the Bible are actually coming true. And for you not to believe in the Bible, you're just a fool. All right. You're just a fool. So people like that, they're just a waste of time. It could be target practice, just to sharpen brothers up. Because as a matter of fact, I did learn something when the brother Thamayim was speaking, was answering the man's question. I went back and looked at the video again. I probably gonna look at it again because he was dropping some jewels. So I guess the Lord, probably use this fool to come up just so that knowledge can come out. The Lord, he can use people like that. But yeah, but on on the flip side, people like that is a waste of time. All right, they're a waste of time. So if you come up and you start asking dumb questions, we're just gonna go back to what we were speaking on. You can have a nice day, walk up the street, or in his case, continue to be homeless. A brother could have got it, start calling on the name. He probably could have got help with finances, help with assistance with a place to stay. The Lord working in ways like that. He worked through other men to help people out. So yeah, dude is marked. He's marked for destruction, unless he sincerely apologize to the Lord, not to the men of the Lord, but to the Lord himself, to Yahweh himself, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, because you offended the Lord. You came and you offended us, but you offended the Lord. You got to answer for that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I pray this was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rahak Radash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone that teach and rule well. Peace, love, and safety to the hopeful elect. Shalom.